name is Danielle Ladd, and welcome to our first edition of PC Talks Politics. This is a new program we are introducing at Providence College to capture our student body's thoughts in a very important year of politics. This is a 10-minute segment. Our intention is to keep this short and to the point so that you are informed about the views of our students. We have with us today Christine Roussel, a junior political science major, French minor from Scarborough, Maine, and Michael Hagen, a freshman history major from Damascus, Maryland. Welcome to the show, Christine and Michael.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Sure. Today's segment will discuss the Florida primary results and what this means for the GOP candidates as they move their campaigns to Nevada, the implications of Mitt Romney's most recent comments about the very poor, and the recent GOP endorsement of Donald Trump. Following the most recent Florida primary, former Governor of Massachusetts Mitt Romney captured 46% of the votes, widening the gap between himself and former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich by 15%. Christine, having now won 2 primaries, do you see Mitt Romney emerging as the GOP frontrunner? And what can we expect to see from his campaign moving forward?
I definitely think that Mitt Romney's been the front runner for the majority of this campaign. I don't think they were crucial as naming him the front runner. I think that moving forward, it's definitely going to be still a battle between him, Gingrich, and Santorum, and Ron Paul just kind of staying there, being the spoiler in a few races. I know that Romney's not polling very well in Missouri, I don't think, and he's actually being outpolled by Santorum. Plus, there are a few races where only Romney's on the ballot, or only Romney and Ron Paul are on the ballot. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. I think going to Nevada, he's got that one pretty solid. I mean, it's a pretty heavy LDS state in a lot of areas. So I think he'll be good with that out west, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs down south and in the Northeast too.
Thank you. Michael, one of the main focuses of these GOP primaries has been the electability quality. After Mitt Romney won Florida, he made the following quote: "While we celebrate this victory, we must not forget that what this election is really about, defeating Barack Obama." In your opinion, is defeating Barack Obama what this election is really about?
Danielle, unfortunately, I think yes. The focus of the GOP race right now is defeating Barack Obama. And I say that it's unfortunate because the GOP is really kind of having an identity crisis right now, and it's really not healthy for the two-party system. The GOP can't really rally around a central sort of platform, a sort of central belief, because they're split 3 ways between these pro-big business people who are most concerned with tax issues, financial issues. They're split with the quote-unquote base, which is most concerned with values issues, with what the federal government's going to do to in regards to marriage and abortion, as well as libertarians who don't particularly care about the social issues and don't have the same financial interests as the very rich. They're split 3 ways, and it's tearing the party apart at the seams. And the only thing that the GOP can really unite around right now is defeating Barack Obama. So that is the focus of the race. Romney is right in saying that. It's the focus of the election, and it's what they're going to try to do. And it'll be an awkward convention because of it. So,
Thank you. Christine, do you have any remarks about Michael's comments?
I think he's right in some ways, but I think that when the final nominee is actually announced, I think the majority of the Republican Party will rally around the nominee and will do the best they can to get Barack Obama out of the White House, because that's been the goal since January 21st, 2009. So,
this being said, if we could just take a minute to listen to another quote that Romney said to CNN reporter yesterday. It reads, "I'm not concerned about the very poor. We have a safety net there. If it needs repair, I'll fix it. I'm not concerned about the very rich. They're doing just fine. I'm concerned about the very heart of America, the 90 to 95% of Americans who are now struggling." He continues, "You can focus on the poor. That's not my focus."
I mean, it sounds harsh, but once you think about it, elections are won and lost on the middle class, and the middle class has been hurt the hardest by Barack Obama's policies. I mean, the poor have their programs to keep, to stay afloat. That's the safety net. That's what the safety net's there for. Mm-hmm. The middle class are lacking that safety net. The middle class have seen some serious damage from Barack Obama's policies, which he's right to focus on them because that's the bulk of the electorate. That's how he's going to win the election, is by saying he will give them a better 4 years than Barack Obama's given them.
But is he out of touch with the poor in America?
I mean, I think they're going to spin it however they want. Like, people are going to look into it how they're going to want to look into it. Like, Huffington Post will have a very different thing from, like, World Net Daily. But I don't think he's necessarily out of touch. I think he's being a realist. Like, he won't win the election off of the very poor, because the very poor are a minority of America. He's going to win the election on the middle class, which is what he said, 90 to 95% of the electorate. He's right to focus on them, and that's who the majority of the voters are.
Michael, what do you think about his most recent statement, considering Mitt Romney's proposed tax policy about extending the Bush tax cuts and tax cuts on corporations while tax breaks are implemented for the very poor?
Governor Romney is out of touch with the poorest of the poor, and that's a reality for him. That's a reality for many leaders in Washington on both sides of the aisle. They're out of touch. But what's really with Governor Romney's comments, it shows a genuine insensitivity to the needs of the poorest of the poor. When he makes comments such as the one of, "I'm not concerned about the very poor," yes, he's referencing the safety net that is in place, the safety net that, quite frankly, a lot of the GOP candidates, if they had their way, would do away with, but that's another point for another day. But he says he's not concerned with the poorest of the poor. He makes other comments like, "I'm going to make a friendly, small wager with you." Was it Newt Gingrich or was it Rick Santorum? I'm not sure, but he tried to bet $10,000 on the stage at a debate as a small wager. He makes comments like, "I made Ted Kennedy take out a mortgage," which, yes, we understand Ted Kennedy's got a lot of money, but it still makes light of a financial reality of most American families. Governor Romney, he shows an insensitivity to the poor, which I am really uncomfortable with, and I think that, I mean, most Democrats are uncomfortable with, and I think a lot of Republicans should be uncomfortable with, because it's one thing to be out of touch. It's another to be entirely insensitive.
Do you think that the safety net does need to be fixed?
I think, like all programs, that there's imperfections in the safety net. I think that in our food assistance and in our health care that we provide for the poor, there are a lot of problems. And I think that the Obama administration has made tremendous strides in addressing these problems. For example, I mean, in the realm of health care, instead of forking over money to pay for individual emergency room visits for people who may not be insured, for people who have conditions that could have easily been prevented with preventative care, we're going to make sure that they have that preventative care. We're going to make sure we're patching up the safety net in that sense.
Christine, would you like to have a follow-up comment?
I'm going to have to agree with Paul Ryan on this one when he said the safety net should be a safety net, not a hammock. When food stamp assistance has increased 45% since the start of Barack Obama's presidency, that's not helping the system, that's overburdening it. I mean, there's a reason they call him the food stamp president. It's not good. The economy's not good. The safety net right now is out of control. It's becoming like a career for people. I witnessed it when I worked at Walmart all summer. Like, it's just not a good system. The Republicans aren't trying to tear the safety net to shreds. They're trying to rebuild it to something that's actually a safety net.
Michael, this being said, does President Obama face re-election troubles after a recent Gallup poll reveals that 17 states are now solidly or leaning Republican, up from 10 in 2010?
I personally am very confident that the Obama administration will be able to win another term. You're not going to see the kind of landslide victory that you saw in the last election. There are a lot of states that either lean to the middle or lean blue, that traditionally vote red in the last election. There are a lot of states that did vote for President Obama that you really wouldn't have expected. For example, one of my neighboring states, I'm from Maryland, we were very surprised to see Virginia vote for President Obama coming election.
Christine, can the GOP win the White House?
I mean, I think it's almost not too early to tell, but I think this summer is going to be extraordinarily interesting, and once come October, I think we'll have a clearer picture of the system. But again, anything's possible in election day. We have no idea what's going to happen between now and November.
And our final question. Hours ago, Donald Trump flew to Nevada to endorse Mitt Romney. Christine, what do you think, if any, will Trump's endorsement have on Mitt Romney's campaign?
I mean, it's Donald Trump. I saw him speak at CPAC last year. He's a good speaker. He quit the Republican Party earlier, which I thought was kind of interesting. And it's just, I don't think it's breaking news or anything. I think it's just kind of silly little pop culture kind of tidbit. I think it's kind of funny he endorsed him, but I take it with kind of a grain of salt. I don't think it's like a major campaign endorsement. It's not like he's Chuck Norris.
Michael, do you have any comments?
I agree. I'm still waiting for the Norris endorsement to come out myself.
Thank you, Christine and Michael, for joining us today and for sharing your viewpoints with us. And thank you for tuning in to watch our first episode of PC Talks Politics. If you're interested in joining our program, please email kvale1@friars.providence.edu. Or if you would like us to address a specific question that you have, feel free to email us here in the station.